Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool and this is Gems of War. And today I have a bunch of teams for you, jam-packed with action and new teams, and I actually got a Sentinel on this video, so gotta check that out. I got my first Sentinel in the Underworld. So yeah, that's what we're doing first here is the Underworld, and then we're gonna do Green Guild Wars team, and then we're gonna do the faction event for Stonesong Eyrie. So yeah, this is the first team here. This is for the Underworld. I think this is the team that you should use if you have access to all the troops. So this is the high-level team. We got Egress, Staff of Storms, Queltzama, and Ecotl. So the idea here is we have all Strix. We're using Stormcaller class. The Staff of Storms. Okay, so Nimbus Bow is the best weapon for an all-finesse team. But I feel like Staff of Storms is the best for Egress now because Egress is the one looping. So if you're using Finesse with Egress, then it's the one looping and giving the stats. So you don't need that anymore. So now you can use Staff of Storms and have a summon in there if you need it. So I like the Staff of Storms when you're using Egress. So we got Egress, Staff of Storms, Queltzama, and Ecotl. The Queltzama will do a bunch of scatter damage and then put 10 yellow on the board, and you can remove a different color. So just remove a color that isn't yellow, which you can't anyway. I mean, it forces you to use a color or remove a color that isn't yellow. And just pick the most numerous other color. You'll do scatter damage, wipe the whole enemy team out. And if you don't, it'll loop because it puts the 10 yellow onto the board. You're already putting a bunch of yellow with the Egress and the Storm. So yeah, I definitely recommend that as your high-level team. Shout out to Tacit. I saw the Queltzama idea from him, but my team's slightly different. I got the Staff of Storms. You're using your hero, so it's not the exact copy. But I do want to shout people out when I get an idea from them. So shout out to him. All right, the Queltzama idea with the Egress is what's up, and that's pretty good. You can use that in the journey too if you want. All right, here is the mid-level team. So you got Egress, Staff of Storms, Queen Zachi, and Ecotl. So this time you don't have Queltzama, so you want to hit all enemies if you can, especially early. Later on, maybe you switch out the Queen Zachi for another Egress or something like that. But I feel like early Queen Zachi's good. She has a summon on her. She explodes. She hits all enemies pretty hard. You can get her in the Underworld. This could even be considered the low-level team because Queen Zachi is super easy to get in the Underworld. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this for anybody that doesn't have Queltzama. But if you don't, hey, Egress, another Egress, if you happen to get multiple Egresses, then that would be good too. And yeah, I'm about to show that in a second, so I should probably quit talking about it. But we got Stormcaller, Yellow Storm the whole time. Ecotl, if you see it early, like the blue to yellow, definitely cast it. Otherwise, just match blue and yellow and get up Egress and start casting it. Cast Queen Zachi once she gets up, especially if she's still wiping in one shot. And pretty good team right here. If you don't have Queltzama, it's probably the second best thing you could do, especially early. All right, here's the third team. I've already been talking about it, but just double up on Egress if you don't have Queen Zachi or Queltzama because, it's nice. You have all Strix. You have a backup Egress. Bang, bang, bang. I got my Egress on freaking Shiny level 3. You should go check out that video where I opened the 100 Shiny keys. Got some other troops to 1, to 2. Look at this. They freaking devour me, but here's where I get the Sentinel. So I'm going to show you this battle. Even though they devour me, I think this has some... teaching in it because we have the Staff of Storms there, which will summon a Strix, which still makes us be able to loop. So once we get the Staff of Storms up incidentally, I go ahead and cast it to bring in another Strix so I can put more yellow onto the board, just so, my team doesn't die. But the Staff of Storms there, it's showing its worth in this battle. So I didn't care that I got devoured. No big deal. I get to show why the Staff of Storms is there. And check this out. Bang! Giant Sentinel. My first one. Yay. Hopefully a lot more to come. Let me know in the comments how many Sentinels y'all have. I'd really like to know. I'm curious. Do you have any yet? Do you have one? Do you have all of them? Do you have 3? Do you have 2? Just curious how far behind I am. I just started doing the whole Underspire. Alright, here is the low-level team still. It's just another battle. It's Egress, Staff of Storms, and Ecotl. So early on, you're looking for that Ecotl. You want to turn blue to yellow. Sometimes I was even just casting it just to get Egress up, even without the freaking alignment. But definitely look for alignment first, and then decide from there. If you got like 2 or 3 different blues to yellows matches, sometimes I just do it, and then I let the enemy take their turn, and then I just go wild with Egress with the infinite loop. So I think this Underspire is going to be super easy. If you ever wanted to do one to full completion, this is a good time to do it because Egress is awesome, and it should be pretty quick too. And you shouldn't die. It's like, you know, completion rate is going to be way up there for a lot of people. All right, here's Green Guild Wars. We're in bracket, I don't even know. I think I'm going to show it at the end. I think either 2 or 3. So bracket 2 or 3 business here. I did tweak my team slightly. This is my green team. It's a glass cannon. So people that say this team isn't, I don't know. People talk about this team sometimes and downplay it, but it's because it's a glass cannon. You're trying to get a super high score when you're using this team. You're not being careful. There's too many people using 5 different super careful teams, and then they don't get Paragon. So sometimes you have to like actually risk it all for the biscuit all and use a team that's going to be getting a super high score. And I'll show you. This team goes 4-1, just for the record, which is fine with me. As long as I go 5-0 the rest of the week, I'm fine with like 1-4-1, or maybe even 2-4-1s. But as long as I go 5-0 the rest of the week, that's cool. So my green team went 4-1, but it scored over 8,000 freaking points. It scored like 8,100 something or something like that. Pretty high for losing a battle. We got Doomed Glaive, Apothecary, Wild Queen, and Leprechaun. Leprechaun's the change I made. I took off Possessed King. I put on Leprechaun. I felt like that would get me up quicker. I wasn't feeling like Possessed King was doing as much as, he used to do. So Doomed Glaive is awesome. It turns brown to skulls. It entangles the first enemy. The Apothecary will cleanse itself and put brown onto the board, so it changes the color to brown. You want to get an extra turn when you do that. That's also lining up your freaking Doomed Glaive and getting up your Wild Queen. So I don't recommend Wild King because you want to put the brown into the Wild Queen, but hey, whatever you want to do. You're trying to line up that Doomed Glaive the whole time. You're entangling. You got a Leaf Storm, I'm pretty sure. You're stealing attack and giving it to your first slot. It was really nice, and if I had went 5-0, I would have scored so high, it's crazy, because what you just saw there, I'm pretty sure. Let me go check. Yeah, what you just saw there was an 8,168 4-1. So imagine if I went 5-0 there. That's why it's a glass cannon. That's why it's worth using if you're, constantly losing to somebody, losing the Paragon, even if you go 5-0 with super safe teams. Try that, and maybe you'll win. Maybe you'll go 5-0 and get 9,600, 9,700, because that's what I was on pace for. But yeah, I did lose the last battle. It is what it is. I wasn't super angry because I'm going into it knowing it's a glass cannon. All right, here is the faction event. This is probably the thing you guys want to see the least, but there is a cool team on the very end using new troops, so stay tuned for that. But we got Stonesong Eyrie. You want to do this every week. You want to do your Tuesday faction event just for all rewards. You can do it for free some of the time. You know how it is. It's kind of like Bounty using Tesla till Sunday. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it works, it's nice. You save gems. When it doesn't, you have to invest a little bit of gems at the end of the event, and it's no big deal. You finish it pretty quickly. But Guard's Avatar, you've seen this team a billion times. Everybody knows this team. Everybody uses this team, especially in the Underworld. I did Mountain Crusher, Guard's Avatar, Sir Quentin Hadley, and Harpy Mage. Harpy Mage second turn empowered, Sir Quentin Hadley, 50% start for Knights. I was using Geomancer just to level a class. You could use Knight if you haven't leveled Knight yet. And, change that Mountain Crusher into Shield of Urskaya later to finish off the event. Maybe, if you have to. I think it hits hard enough. Or you could use the Wand of Stars if you want. I just feel like the Mountain Crusher super low mana cost, makes a Dust Storm. Doesn't block Guard's Avatar super bad. But yeah, that's the high level team. Do Guard's Avatar, Sir Quentin Hadley. It's really fast. It'll get you all rewards. Maybe you can get it done for free. Alright, here is the mid-level team. None of these first two teams for the faction are just the same old, but we're doing it every week. You see these all the time. You see the same faction sometimes, So you just got to know these teams, and you just got to use them and just get it done. There's too much stuff to do. Epic Trials, Underspire, Guild Wars, Journey Event, we have the XP Booster, Adventure Board, Dungeon. We have way too much to do. So to be building a brand new, teams every single time there's a faction, don't do that. Just remember a team and use it in that faction. Chalcedony, Watchful Blade, Chernabog is one you can use, in brown especially. If you don't have you need brown for the Chernabog, or it could be like brown and purple, or it could be like purple and yellow, I guess, like a Fell Roost, for example. But, yeah, there's a couple different combinations where you could use this team. But you could also do all Chalcedony if you want, no Chernabog on the bottom. But I just like him for the constant Dust Storm. Once again, Geomancer, Watchful Blade's the best weapon. It puts red and brown on the board, so a bunch of brown. All right, here's the new team for low-level players. We got Egress, Finesse, Staff of Storms, Finesse. So you see me using the Staff of Storms. You know, something changes in the game, I change my opinion. That's how the world works. Once you get more information or once something new comes out, you might change your opinion. So whenever I'm using Egress, I'm going to use the Staff of Storms now, because it will summon in a Strix if I happen to lose something. And there's no reason, we don't need the Nimbus Bow, which is, Nimbus Bow is cool though, because it does put blue and yellow, and Egress uses blue and yellow, so it's still really, really good. But if you're using triple Finesse, definitely use Nimbus Bow. It's still the weapon for Finesse. But if you're using Egress, it's the one doing the 4 or 5 gym matches for the third trait. So you don't really need the Nimbus Bow to be doing that, and that was its job. But now, Egress, took over its job. So Egress was the boss man's best friend's best friend, so came into the company and stole Finesse's job, or Nimbus Bow's job, whatever. So Egress, Finesse, Staff of Storms, Finesse. Staff of Storms in the Soul Forge right now. The Finesse, make sure you have it fully traded so you can get that third trait to trigger every time you cast your Egress. You're going to be building your stats up, You can even cast Finesse to finish stuff off. But just loop with Egress, and you'll definitely get all rewards. You could go to 500 with this, deathless. I'm positive. So, yeah, let me know how y'all do. Let me know how many Sentinels you got. I'd really appreciate it. Check out all these other videos I got going on right now. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your guild about the channel, comment below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.